Welcome to my channel Animals, a fact-filled journey. The bee hummingbird Mellisuga helenae is the smallest bird in the world, measuring just 2.2 to 2.5 inches, 5.6 to 6.4 cm's, and weighing 0.56 to 0.67 ounces, 0.8 grams. The female bee hummingbird is slightly larger than the male. The bee hummingbird is found only in Cuba. The bee hummingbird's diet consists of nectar and insects. The bee hummingbird can flap its wings up to 80 times per second. The bee hummingbird's heart rate can reach 1260 beats per minute. The bee hummingbird's lifespan is typically 3 to 5 years. The bee hummingbird's nest is about the size of a thimble and is made of spiderwebs and plant fibers. The bee hummingbird lays 2 eggs, which hatch after about 15 days. The bee hummingbird is an important pollinator of flowers. The bee hummingbird is a popular tourist attraction in Cuba. The bee hummingbird is the national bird of Cuba. The bee hummingbird is a protected species in Cuba. The bee hummingbird is a vulnerable species due to habitat loss and climate change. The bee hummingbird is a member of the Trochilidae family, which includes all hummingbirds. The bee hummingbird's scientific name, Mellisuga helenae, is in honor of the Greek goddess of the hunt, Artemis. The bee hummingbird's common name is derived from its small size, which is similar to that of a bee. The bee hummingbird's feathers are iridescent, meaning that they change color depending on the angle of light. The bee hummingbird's beak is long and thin, which it uses to reach the nectar at the bottom of flowers. The bee hummingbird's tongue is also long and thin, and it can extend up to twice the length of its beak. The bee hummingbird's wings are narrow and pointed, which helps it to fly quickly and maneuver through flowers. The bee hummingbird's feet are small and weak, and it does not perch on branches like other birds. The bee hummingbird hovers in front of flowers while it feeds, using its wings to create a vortex of air that helps to draw the nectar into its mouth. The bee hummingbird can fly backwards and upside down. The bee hummingbird is a territorial bird and will chase away other hummingbirds that come too close to its food source. The bee hummingbird is an important part of the Cuban ecosystem and helps to pollinate many plants. The bee hummingbird is a popular tourist attraction in Cuba and can be seen at many of the country's national parks and gardens. The bee hummingbird is a vulnerable species due to habitat loss and climate change. The bee hummingbird is a protected species in Cuba, but it is still threatened by human activities. The bee hummingbird is a fascinating and unique bird that is an important part of the Cuban ecosystem. I hope you enjoyed these amazing facts about the bee hummingbird. Thanks for watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe.